You guys, we have got to talk about Brooke Schofield because she went on the Viall Files and she was talking about canceled coming to an end, her not wanting it to come to an end. She talked about her status with Tana, whether they are friends. I mean, she was talking about everything. She's talking about her fiancé, the things that have been said about him. We're going to get into it all. So first, let's talk about canceled. There was so much said with it coming to an end, and if it was because the girls hate each other or what. The whole interview was giving messy boots with the questions. It felt like they really wanted the tea on if the girls hate each other or not. The first thing that they brought up was whether or not Brooke really wanted the canceled podcast to end, because people felt like Brooke didn't want it to end. And I think for a second there, they really tried to say that they both felt that it was best to just do their own thing and that they didn't want to talk about drama anymore. They didn't want to be messy. They kind of grew out of canceled and what canceled was. But in her Viall Files interview, Brooke made it clear that the ending of canceled wasn't really her decision. She said that if it were totally up to her, she wouldn't have ended the show, at least not permanently.
Well, the first time we ended it, it was an accident. We didn't mean to end it. But yeah, I think you're right. Tana and I both have completely different reasons for wanting to end the podcast, I think. I can't speak for her, but if it were up to me and me alone, it wouldn't have ended. I probably would have just stuck it out just because, I mean, it's so important to my life, especially like financially, like I needed it there. Like for her, it ended because she was, you know, in my opinion, like being dragged into a lot of controversy because of me, obviously. And I was just like not doing well mentally. I was really, really struggling. And I felt like every single week I was putting myself in a position to be perceived at like as a version of myself that I was not proud of and not excited about.
She goes on to say that she would have just liked to take a step back for a second and not end it completely, but it seems the internet was right in that Tana was ready to just end it.
From your standpoint, it was more like you would have preferred not to use Bravo term, a put on pause, if you will.
Yes, absolutely.
Like maybe just like a timeout. But as that stands today, Tana was more or less like maybe we should just end it type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have loved to take a second, especially like when things were really happening for me online, like, you know, with everything that went on, especially last year. I would have loved to take like, you know, a few months off and like take a beat and have time to like process that. But we didn't have the option because we had like, you know, this really like set in stone contract.
She does later say that when canceled was going on, there was a lot of speculation about her friendship status with Tana. And now that it's over, it seems that they've been able to just be honest about the fact that the fans were right in the end with the way that they did not really get along. Because throughout them doing canceled, people would be like, they literally hate each other, like they're not friends. And Brooke was basically saying like, yeah, like the fans were right half of the time.
So I think during canceled, like while canceled was going on, there was speculation that like, oh my God, these girls hate each other. And like, I'd say 40 to 50% of the time it was true. Mm-hmm. Like we did not get along. We butt heads about everything. Like it's really hard to have a business with your friends. And like, especially when you don't see eye to eye almost ever. But I think somewhere along the way, especially toward the end when we could see like what felt like the light at the end of the tunnel, it became more of like a us against them versus like us against each other. But I don't know. I feel like now I feel so much better about our relationship. We feel so much better about it. We're happy and we are back to being friends because we struggled.
But they're in a better place now. Now that they are not doing the podcast and they don't have to work together, they have been able to get their friendship back to a place that is much better than when they were working together. Now, Nick and Natalie brought up the fact that people were talking about Tana not going to Brooke's engagement party recently and how they wondered if this was a big deal to Brooke. And if you guys remember, a couple weeks ago, Brooke had an engagement party and Tana was seemingly absent, and this is what she had to say about it. She said, "Construction on my place got moved out of my control. I quite literally begged and pleaded and sobbed. I knew the internet was going to do this all week and I refused to engage with that, no pun intended. I'm very happy for her and we'll be making it up." She ended up posting on her Instagram story this picture of Brooke and Miles and said, "Posting like I was there, genuinely moved that my girl has transitioned from 50-part series to riding Baldy off into the sunset. I love you at Brooke Schofield, at Miles McFly, my parents for real." And Brooke reposted this and laughed. And when talking about it on the Viall Files, Brooke talked about Tana's new home being the reason why she wasn't there and that Tana did communicate with her about it all.
She did tell me. She was in Hawaii and she just bought a place in Hawaii and it was like under construction, and so she had to be there to oversee that. And I understand, like that was
sense.
like, yeah, it was a valid. It's an engagement party, so it was like
not the wedding.
Yeah, it's
There's
not
a
the
lot more
wedding.
events.
It's not the wedding. I'd be like, of course
I
I was.
also had friends miss my wedding.
Yeah,
It's also okay. Yeah.
And in the moment, I'm somebody who like I'm really sensitive about those things, like birthdays, like anything. I have like trauma about feeling like people don't show up for me, so those things usually really upset me. But she was very like she really communicated, and she was really good about it. So Didn't bother me.
Now, as for the podcast, Brooke did address what they had been saying, which was that, they didn't want to talk about other people anymore. They didn't want to expose anyone. And she said that it kind of took her getting canceled to feel like she didn't want to cause drama with other people. And the fans liked canceled when they were messy and not so much when they played it safe. And this was one of the factors in them ending it. Though they previously tried to say that it was like the main reason, she's saying it was just one of the reasons.
I have to experience something firsthand before I can empathize with somebody else.
I think that's normal.
Yeah,
honestly.
so it wasn't until like that started really happening to me where people, like, I open up my YouTube and I see my face in every thumbnail and like it's about something completely untrue and I have no control over it. And I'm like, I have been doing that to people and we have made this whole huge show based on that alone.
Yeah.
And so I think that had a lot to do with why we wanted to end it too, because we, everyone was a fan of the show for that reason. And when we couldn't or didn't want to do that anymore, it's either too boring or they change.
When talking about whether or not it's over for good, she says yes. Tana had said maybe who knows what will happen in the future before, but Brooke thinks that it is for sure done and maybe they'll do one show or something, but the podcast is done.
Well, we'll ask one last time for the fans listening. Is canceled actually over?
I think canceled is over. Yes.
Okay.
Maybe we talk sometimes about doing like one live show a year because the live shows were so like amazing and fulfilling and special. And so maybe we would end up doing something like that. But the show itself, at least in my head, I think it's over.
Now this next part, I was not expecting her to go here, but they brought it up. They were talking about her fiance, Miles. Brooke has been defending this man so much ever since this whole situation has started, but she addressed the serious rumors and accusations that have been going around involving her fiance Miles once again. She addressed them and was defending him once again against these allegations that he dated an underage girl. She once again said that they were completely made up and false and that she has spoken to the girl, and she says that it's just not true and that people just made this up and dragged it out because they don't like her.
The story, like the instant that I announced my relationship, it was like originally people were pulling up photos of him and Sophia Richie because that was his best friend's little sister.
Okay.
It started as a conversation about him dating underage Sophia Richie because there's like these photos of them together, but these are all people who grew up in LA together. And then when that didn't stick, it became a story of a different girl, one of her best friends. It just snowballed. There was one video about it. It was made on my birthday that was, Brooke Schofield's fiance he dated an underage girl. She's 16 and he's almost 30, which just wasn't true. But again, it just, everyone accepts it immediately as truth. I was way more sensitive about it because it wasn't just about me, it was about him. I take that seriously. Like I would never want to be with somebody who dated somebody who's underage ever. I'm sorry. Like a lot of people don't think I'm like the most morally correct person, but like I simply would never do that. So I took it completely as seriously as everybody else when it was like first presented to me. And I spoke to her immediately, and she was like so confused by the situation. She's like, what is this? What is going on? Most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. She's like, I'm hopeful that it'll just blow over. But I knew, of course, if it's about me, it's not going to blow over. And it's just frustrating. But you can see, like, it's frustrating because all day long, it's like, Brooke, you're ignoring the allegations. And it's like, there's no allegations. She herself is saying this never happened.
She does say that she knows the photos of him and the girl do look bad. And she's tried to filter her comments to not have to see it because people will post the photo of him and her in her TikTok comments. But there's no way to block photos. So she says that she has to see it.
So it's like just thousands of the photo all day, every day. And it's like, I think the photo looks bad. Of course, like I don't want it all over my page. I don't want everybody who opens my comments to see the photo 1,000 times. But also, like you're saying, now I have to consume every single one. It's bad. I just, you know what?
So she knows it looks bad, but she's standing by the fact that she's talked to the girl and she said that nothing bad happened between them and is going to be defending her man. She even said that this girl is happy for her and Miles and that they are together and that they are engaged. So it is a whole messy situation is what it is. And speaking of mess, you guys, like people thought this interview was a mess. Like the comment section, they were ripping into Nick because he didn't really know Brooke. His wife Natalie knows Brooke, but he doesn't know a thing. And so it kind of seemed like they had just looked up comments and drama and were asking her to basically like debunk the rumors online. And he got a lot of backlash for the whole point of the interview kind of being that. Especially when at one point in time they said that they don't address rumors or anything like that, even though everything that they were asking her kind of had to do with a rumor.
We have this rule at the Viall Files that like we don't platform rumors. Like if there's something that some blog account or some TikToker is talking about from Reddit or something, like it's not a topic that we're going to talk about because it's like we're not giving oxygen to just somebody who like decided to make up something.
But in having Brooke on, of course, they had done some research on Brooke, and Nick was made aware that him and Tana have drama, which, if you remember, the drama between Tana and Nick started after Tana mocked JoJo Siwa in a TikTok video, and JoJo decided to address it directly on Nick's podcast. And during the episode, JoJo told Nick that while James Charles had asked permission to use her new song Karma in a video, Tana didn't ask before making a joke about it.
I was a bad girl. I'm doing bad things. You think she's ever taken like a perk 30 and like cussed somebody out?
She said that she even texted Tana about it afterwards and only got a haha response, which she didn't love. And Nick Viall did not hold back when reacting to the situation on his podcast. He completely sided with JoJo, saying that Tana's post was mean-spirited and was just ripping into her for coming at JoJo.
Is I have been not friends with her, but we have been close, like homies. I did her podcast and it was like, we were talking about having like a fun night, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So for her to go do all that, she was mocking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I actually texted her. I just sent her own video and I said LOL. And she just responded, ha 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 ha. But I was like,
You just said LOL?
I think that's what I said. Let me see.
You didn't say what the fuck, biatch?
I think it's just JoJo being like,
Give me my,
I saw this. Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
it's
no, I hear you.
clocked, bitch.
I said,
But her being ha 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 ha.
I said,
ha.
first question, no. Second question, yes. Ha ha ha. She responded, ha 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 ha. But the thing is
Fuck Tana Mongeau.
I saw Tana tomorrow. Like, Tana, like, JoJo, what's up?
Yeah.
But then to do that, I'm like, wait.
It's just to get the views.
That's why I appreciate that James reached out, being like, hey, do you care if I...
And you, but you don't? Why did you?
Well, for me, I mean, look, that's
If you,
it's a view of my
if you
song.
had it, I mean, it does promote your song. James Charles does have a massive
following.
The whole thing was just such a mess, but he didn't even remember it. Like when he was sitting down with Brooke, he did not remember why him and Tana had beef. And they actually recently invited Tana to do the Viall Files, and Tana told Brooke that she was nervous about it. And it was obviously because her and Nick have beef, but he didn't even remember it.
Often, your former co-host Tana, like obviously.
Yeah, I know you guys had some.
Do we though? I don't.
She doesn't know either, but
I know, I feel like
Justin was prepping for this interview. He listened to your final episode and he was like, your name got brought up.
yeah, she always talks about it because she's like, when you like have something with somebody and then like enough time passes
I've never
where you're
met
like,
her.
I know, but remember, it was something that was, yes,
It was the
JoJo. We struggled to remember too,
yeah.
but then once we did, I was like, yeah, you were kind of rude about them.
Yeah.
Well, JoJo's my girl. And I'm just defensive of my friend.
But that was what went down in this episode. I certainly want to know what you guys think about all of this, from what Brooke said about canceled, coming to an end, to her friendship with Tana, defending her fiance, and Nick addressing this drama with Tana. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.